Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Carrie's Gardening Channel. So, what I want to talk to you about today is how to deal with weeds in a perennial flower bed. And this is a pretty easy way to do this. We got landscapers fabric that we put down. This is a brand new perennial flower bed that we put in this year. I still have more spots that we're going to be planting up, and I'll show you how to actually plant in this type of fabric here. Now this works best on a level surface. It doesn't work the best if you're kind of on the side of a hill, because when you're trying to dig your soil out to be able to put your plants in, it doesn't work the best because your soil kind of wants to keep falling back in the holes, and it's a little bit harder to work with the landscaper's fabric on there. And you can see we have some yarrow here, and we have some feverfews in the back there, and this is really helping us to keep the weeds out of here. It's also helping to retain moisture for us, which is cutting down on our watering, because we had for a while we had a drought and we weren't getting any rain at all, and I actually wound up having to buy 2 of the water tank totes to try and keep up so we could get our stuff watered, because you know, when you're taking like 3 hours a day watering, that's a lot of water that you're using. So you can see this one here, there was a weed that did come up in this yarrow here. Oops. But it's just pretty simple here. You just take and pull this out here. Go. Just kind of fluff this back down. And what we did is we cut out our little triangles here. We put our plants in, and that's how we're dealing with the weeds. I will show you then how to actually plant in this, and that's coming up. Okay, so what you want to do with this is you want to cut some X's in your plastic before you put your plants in here. So these here go about 12 inches apart and about 12 inches wide. So we're doing, we have a stick that we're kind of measuring with, and we're just putting our X's in here.
It's hard to read it, please.
Yeah, you're going to dull your whatever you're using to cut with, because of the rocks underneath. When you hit it, it's going to dull the blade out. So the next step is you dig some of the soil out, and then you're ready to put your plants in after you mix some plant food in with it.
Get over here.
Okay, so the X's are cut. We're going to get this here dug out here. And my mom volunteered to help with this. I'm harvesting flowers. I took a break here real quick so I could show you how to plant in this. See my little seedlings over here? These are yarrow. This is a summer berries mix here. Real pretty pinks and yellows and apricot colors. Cherry too. Cherry red. It has cherry red in it. See the root system on there? There we go. Now these are younger plants. They weren't started too long ago, but they are large enough to go in. Yep. We're getting some plant food put in there, and then we're going to get it mixed around there. Oops.
I like to lift it up a little bit.
Yeah. So you just kind of work your soil back in around. Let me move here so we can actually see. There we go. This side here. And your black plastic also helps to hold the moisture as well as keep the weeds down. And it helps and saves a lot on weeding. I mean, you might get a few weeds that'll come up through, but like I showed you earlier, they're so easy to pull out, and it's not like, I'll show you another spot that doesn't have this down, and you'll see there's a big difference between the weeds. There we go. So we'll get that watered in there then, and you can see there's 2 here that are already put in, and we had a few things that didn't make it. We had some plants that the pests had really damaged pretty badly, and I think we had like 3 of them that didn't make it, so we just went ahead and replanted in. So you can see the weeds are here. This is a straw flower patch here, and you can see all the weeds going out through there. And over in the straw flower patch here, we don't have this down. We've been trying to keep up with the weeds on it, and it's a big difference between this over here and this over here, because you can see the weeds are coming up in between here, and this has actually been weeded a few times already, and you can see they're just, whoops, you can see the weeds are just coming back up through. So the landscaper's fabric definitely helps for keeping the weeds down. It also keeps your soil warmer, and that really helps with plant growth. So I really like the landscaper's fabric, and it is difficult to work with on a steeper slant, but if your ground is pretty level, it works much better. So here's another one here that my mom's getting ready to put in. You can see the root systems are still developing. This here is a nicer root system on them, but like I said, they're really young plants. But we have rocks down to help hold the fabric down. If you happen to accidentally tear your plastic, like when you step on it, or if you happen to slide or something, you can go ahead and put a rock over it to help hold that down. But I mean,
Did you tell you to cover it with mulch?
I'm happy with it. You can cover this with mulch, and that will help even more. We just haven't done that. I know I see like different flower farms and stuff where they just have the plastic out. They don't have it covered with mulch. Well, you can definitely cover it with mulch if you choose to. But this helps to prevent the soil from splashing up on my stems. A problem I was running into with the flower farming part, when I was growing my stems, when I was cutting them, the stems would get mud on them and dirt from having it just in the regular ground. So this is helping to prevent that. I mean, we get some on here, but we sweep it off, and we kind of put it under the next piece of plastic there.
Help it make it level.
Yeah. But it's so much nicer and so much better.
When you're done,
So you can also wash this plastic off if you have excess ground on it. And this thing, it did have ground on it. When you're planting your stuff in, it's hard not to get the ground on it, because you know you're working with the ground underneath, and unless you put everything in a bucket, and then you got to figure out what to do with that soil there.
Make it level.
You need to, you can just, you know, wash it off when you're done.
Good.
Okay, so you can see here, this is all planted out through here. And we still do have more perennials left. This has been a few days now since this was transplanted out into here. And you do want to make sure that you water your plants in really well after you transplant them. And if you do hit a dry spell, you do want to make sure that, you know, you do give them some water. Yarrow does not like to be overwatered, but when it's establishing itself, you do want to keep it moist. Overwatering is something that yarrow really doesn't like. And this really helps to keep the weeds down, like I said. And without the landscaper's fabric being down, you do get a lot of weeds. And then that's a lot of time trying to weed the stuff and trying to keep the weeds out of it. So this definitely does help a lot, and it also keeps your soil warmer. So if you have an annual crop that needs warmer soil to grow, this stuff really would work nice for it. And I do plan on using this more. See, we have a bunch of stuff here that's really starting to bloom, and that's getting the heads into bloom again for me, so I'm really happy about that. And I'm really excited about the new perennial beds that are going in. The other perennial bed isn't done being planted yet. I still have a lot more stuff to go into that one there. So if you like my video, please like, comment, subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the little notification button. I'll try to put a new video on. You can also follow me on Twitter. I'll have a link down in the description for my Twitter account. Thank yous for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Bye.